Hi, this is Mr. Cordes, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk and discuss about the components of our body paragraph. You have decided your paper topic. You are either talking about how General Zaroff is both savage and civil, or you're talking about how Ransford goes from using reason to instinct. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to stay on one body paragraph. They're going to be components of the same. I'll talk about both. But you either right now, ladies and gentlemen, have this document up, the savage and civil for General Zaroff, or you have this document up, which is about Ransford showing reason and then Ransford showing instinct. Okay. On both paragraphs from our last activity, you had completed the concrete detail or textual evidence. If you did not do that, you need to pause the video and insert your textual evidence now. Otherwise, everything is going to fall apart because we start with our textual evidence and then build around that. Okay. So take a moment, pause, review or insert your textual evidence for how your character is and that theme word. So here's our character and theme word. So just like over here, we've got our character and then we've got our theme word and we've got our pieces of textual evidence. Okay. So you should have two of these boxes filled out. This one right here and then this one right here. Okay. Now, before we go on to commentary, remember commentary is this shows that. We can use that as our sentence starters. I'm not putting it down because it's something that we take off and remove. So if you'd like to put in this shows that, you have that option. But I want to talk today about the context sentence. The context sentence, ladies and gentlemen, offers context to the textual evidence. Okay, it helps us bridge from the topic sentence where we introduce the theme word to giving that concrete textual example from our story. So let me use an example. If I came up to you and I said, "Hey, fighting robots from space," you'd probably look at me like I'm crazy and think, okay, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Cordes. This is not appropriate. If you run up to anyone and just say, "Fighting robots from space," it does not make sense. However, if I came up to you and I said, "Last night I watched the movie Transformers, it's about fighting robots from space," then it gives more sense. So it gives context to what's happening. Okay. So a context sentence offers a little bit of story summary that guides us into the piece of textual evidence that we're talking about. So if you pick, let's go down here. Let's say that you pick, "I'm still a beast at bay," which is a great line about how General Zaroff is savage. Okay. Or in that savage moment. Actually, that's how Ransford is when he uses instinct. So let me scratch that. Maybe you put the part right here where he says, "I have, maybe you want to see my other collection of heads." Okay. And that's talking about that out of context. That does not make sense. That's probably the most savage thing where General Zaroff is talking about how he's cut off people's heads and he's put them on a mantelpiece like trophies. What we need to do is we need to offer a sentence of explanation for what's going on in the story so that that concrete detail makes sense. Okay. So if we say, "I have a new collection of heads," we need to say here, General Zaroff hunts humans and takes their heads as trophies. Okay. That's how that shows reference to what then is talked about here. So if I'm over here and I use, "I'm still a beast at bay," we need to say Ransford has been hunted in the jungle for 3 days and is at his wit's end when he arrives at General Zaroff's bedroom, right? When he's hiding in the corner ready to kill General Zaroff. We need to offer a little bit more insight, okay? If you've ever been around small children and they come running up to you and they tell you something mid-story and you're like, "Wait, what happened?" And it doesn't make sense. You're looking for context, okay? Context, ladies and gentlemen, is where we piece things together. We offer that little bit of summary, okay? So just like let's use Of Mice and Men as an example. If I came up to you and I just used the concrete detail, they don't like me because I'm black. They say I stink. I tell you all stink to me. You and I, we know what that means because we have context to the story. I would need to put in here that Crooks is the African American who is separated from everyone else and cannot play cards in the bunkhouse with the rest of the farmers. They tell you me stink, they all smell. Like, we piece those things together so it makes context. This is the first time that we're adding in a small piece of summary to help us, okay? So take a moment, pause. I want you to make sure that you've got all of your context sentences, both context sentences, as well as your concrete detail. Okay, so pause. Let's get those 2 sentences done for both paragraphs. You should have 4 sentences. Okay. Now that you have gone on to that, we're going to move on to commentary. So commentary starts with this shows that, and also pulls from our web off the word. So you're going to need to go back to the Google Classroom and look at all of those other words that you put. So this shows that this shows that, because I'm using Ransford right here, this shows that Ransford thinks logically about the gun that he hears in the distance. Okay. This shows that General Zaroff, let me go back over here to this one. This shows that General Zaroff is hospitable. This shows that General Zaroff is kind and caring to his guests in his guest Ransford. Okay, you are going to add in those pieces of textual evidence and use your web off the word to create those. So go pick a web off the word and put it into the sentence. So if you picked inhumane for savage, that was an additional word that you found. General Zaroff is inhumane and is inhumane when it comes to his hunting hobbies, right? This shows that General Zaroff is unruly and murderous when it comes to what excites him in life, okay? You are finding those pieces of commentary to add. Take a moment, pause. Let's get all of our commentary sentences done using the web off the word. Okay. And now that we have our commentary, so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, you should have all of these sentences filled in. You should have all of these sentences filled in. Okay? This is the core. And what we want to do now is we want to add in our topic sentence and we want to add in the concluding sentence. Now, the concluding sentence usually sums up everything. But before I would do that, I would go and I would start with our topic sentence and discuss the theme. Not the character, the theme. What does it mean to show instinct? What does it mean to show reason? What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen, to show civility or to be civil? What does that mean? What does it mean to be savage? Okay. So savage means a person forgets about rules and does what they want. Okay. Using instinct means you go off of your gut feeling. A person goes off their gut feeling rather than thinking about a decision. Okay. So you take the opportunity to fill in the topic sentence that deals with the theme word, not the character. Okay. And last but not least is our concluding sentence. The concluding sentence, ladies and gentlemen, is where you drop the mic. That's where you reiterate what's going on. This can, and this might be easier for you, encompass either the character and or the theme word. So reiterate, hit home. How is Ransford showing reason in this moment? What does that really mean for him? You guys can, if you need to, go back over here to your other graphic organizers and the action part right here is where you would have some information as well as this explaining how he transitioned. That might be some of your concluding sentences. For those of you guys doing General Zaroff, you might look in this sentence right here. These couple sentences may showcase a concluding sentence for you. All right. So your goal right now is to come up with that concluding sentence, wrap it up. One of the ways to do this is to start here and read through all of the sentences and then figure out, what have I not said yet? What have I not said to prove that General Zaroff is a savage? How did I reiterate that General Zaroff is civil in this paragraph? Did I communicate everything about Ransford showing reason? Did I communicate everything that he is showing instinct? Okay. So take a moment. By the time you are done with this video, you should have all of your sentences. And at this point, because we've added the context sentence, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should have 12 sentences altogether. Okay. 12 sentences altogether that are going to showcase your body paragraphs. Okay. Message me if you have any concerns. I want to help you guys guide through this. But yeah, there you go. Get those 12 sentences down and you will have your 2 body paragraphs for this writing complete.